Oh, on this?
Yeah. I'm meaning on ours, since they're like a 4K monitor, I don't know if it's responding right to the NAP. It's like way lower resolution on the inside than it is in the app. Looks like a Windows XP. Yeah. It's because it's trying, 1080 is 4K. There's no, 4K is 1080p. So it's like stretching it out to its maximum. Like, super pixel down. Like really where you see it. I had the option between 14, 1080p, 144 hertz, or 4K, 60 hertz.
That's curious. Oh, it changes the size to. They change that back.
I was like, 144 hertz would be better. It's like 60.
Can you see that better?
Yeah.
Okay. It was set to this 3840 by 2160,
4K?
and but I had increased this to 250. So okay. Well, now the software actually matches the book, so this should go better.
Yeah.
But I've never had the software yet to match the book, so this weekend I'll be able to go a couple of chapters ahead of us and verify instead of winging it. So I'm happy this morning, at least until something bad happens. So it says this is on page 83. It says start the ArcCatalog located in the ArcGIS suite. This opens what you see right here. Matches the book perfectly. Now over on page 82, they talk about what the ArcCatalog is. It gives you more information about spatial data than you can get from Windows Explorer or other file browsers. It can show you which folders contain spatial data and what kinds of spatial data they contain. We kind of looked at that different types of data, the other class. Remember we had text we could put in there, but you could also put images and so forth. It says if necessary, click the catalog tree button on the standard toolbar. That's this one that looks like a window and has little yellow boxes on it. It shouldn't change anything because your catalog tree is already showing on the left. But if for some reason this is not showing, that's how you get it to appear. Catalog tree lists data and services that ArcCatalog is connected to. And you see over here we got our folder connections, toolboxes, database servers, so forth. It says you can connect any local drive on your computer as well as database servers. Once you connect to a folder, you can access the GIS data it contains. This exercise will be helpful to see the file extensions of different spatial data sets. So on the next page, 84, it says on the menu bar, click Customize ArcCatalog. So you click Customize here, and we'll choose ArcCatalog options. This will bring up this dialog box. And they say make sure the General tab is selected. So if this first tab is not selected, which it should be, then you just click it. And clear the Hide File Extensions checkbox. Well, mine's already cleared, but that could be because I was just testing it a little bit yesterday. Was yours cleared? Okay. And then you click OK. Next, you will create a connection to the GTK ArcGIS exercise data, so you can work with it in ArcCatalog. It says on the standard toolbar, click the Connect To folder. That's this folder that has a little arrow and a plus. The book shows it a little bit bigger. Well, it's about the same size. This is how you connect to a folder. This is step 6. On the Connect to folder dialog box, navigate to the local C drive. So we'll go to this PC, and then if you scroll down, you should see a Windows C colon. Let's see. Expand the Esri Press folder. So you should see an Esri Press there. Expand that. You see the GTK folder. Now I have 2 GTK folders. I don't know why. Book's a little bit different on that. They just have 1 folder. But we want to click this the second GTK. So that'll match the book there. And then you click OK. We've now made a connection to the that folder, which means over here on the left-hand side you can click this plus and expand it, and you can see all your individual folders. Now, if you going too fast or you get off, then let me know and I'll come take a look. This is on page 86. In the catalog tree, expand the, we already did that. Then expand to chapter 4 folder. So if you click the plus next to chapter 4, that'll expand that. Let's see. It contains 2 subfolders, data and my data, and a map document called ex04c.mxd. Expand the data folder. So if you expand the data, we looked at the GDBs the other day. Kind of only had a partial view. We couldn't do everything what this program does. Okay, the data folder contains a geodatabase called world.gdb and a shapefile called US cities _pm.shp. These endings here, these are what tells the software what's stored in it. So the fact that this has a SHP tells the ArcGIS that it's a shapefile. Okay, so it says expand world.gdb. So you see there's a plus next to that. And then I'll expand it. Remember where we opened it up the other day and we could see those items? So that's the same view we're seeing here. GeoDatabase contains 4 feature classes. Feature class is a group of points, lines, or polygons represent geographic objects of the same kind. Cities feature class contains point features. So this contains point features. The latitude longitude feature class contains line features. Now that's your location, latitude and longitude. Background and countries feature class contain polygon features. Remember where we drop it on and it would have the outline of a country or outline of ocean or whatever. So that type of deal. Okay, they got different icons. Cities PM shapefile is a different data type. It contains points that represent cities and has more attributes in the city's feature class stored in the GeoDatabase. It is not unusual to work with several different kinds of data, though at some point in your workflow you may need to convert these data types to the same format. Okay. On the standard toolbar, make sure the details button is active. And mine's already active. But if yours isn't, if you see the button that looks like 3 columns and, well, this one right here. Okay, in the catalog tree, click, okay, I already did that, or I didn't. Click world.gdb and it puts the contents over here. Let's see. On the standard toolbar, click each of the buttons that change the look of the contents. So you change to large icons. It says this first one here. Looks like 4 computers, maybe. I don't know what it is. Changes just the look there. You change here. Changes that look. Here's the name and type, and also across here you see preview and description. And then if I click this, it gives me kind of a preview what it is. And you can see the cities as dots. You can see the background as a grid. Countries doesn't really show you much except for a polygon. Latitude, longitude, you see the lines. Yes.
Are we on chapter 4? Like,
yeah.
Well, I only have countries and streets.
Countries and streets. Let's see. You're in the wrong date. That's the database you have under chapter 4. Well, that's interesting. That's it. I'm leaving. I'm going to Alaska. I'm going to maybe a sled team.
I don't blame you.
I'm done with computers. I'm done with electronics. Liam, you're not done. Sorry.
Yay, I'm professor now.
Jeez. Go class, go home. Go home. Go home. Let me copy my files. And I have no clue why I installed the different files for you for that one chapter. Have the other chapters been the same?
I think so.
You want to just come up here and work with me then?
You want to do that? Okay. Okay, I won't go to Alaska today then. That is strange. So I installed the same files, and the fact that it's the same on the other chapters, that's just bizarre.
Yeah, that's very strange.
Huh. Okay. So chapter 11 is just changing the views. Number 12 on page 88 says in the catalog tree, click the countries feature class in the World Geodatabase. So click the countries here. And that's what they're talking about. The catalog tree is over on the left-hand side. So you click countries. And then you see it comes up with this useless image here. It does tell you it's a polygon. But if you click the preview, maybe, then this was what I was talking about. You see the outlines specifying where the countries are located. Okay. Gives you a tip. All polygons are displayed in pale yellow and previewed in ArcCatalog. Points are displayed in black and white, and lines in navy blue. If you're colorblind, that didn't help you a whole lot. On page 89, number 13 says on Geography Toolbar, click the Create Thumbnail button. It's so small in the book I can't hardly see it. I think it's like 3 squares and then something yellow in the upper right hand corner.
Oh, I see it.
There it is. So it's right over here in the far right in terms of your buttons.
Well, that'd be yeah.
Now it says an image of the data shown in the preview tab is saved as a thumbnail graphic. In the catalog display, click the Contents tab. So we're going to go back to Contents. And now instead of your polygon that's meaningless, you actually see a little image, what it represents.
That'd be so cool to do.
What?
That seems so much fun.
Yeah. Let's see. So click the Preview tab to see the country's data set at full size. So again, you go back to Preview and it shows you your full size. On the geography toolbar, click the zoom in tool. And so the zoom in tool is the one with a little magnifying glass with a plus in it. So you click that, it hasn't done anything, but then you drag the tool around what you want to zoom in on. So if I want to zoom in on the Philippines area, I click and hold down and draw a rectangle. Zooms in on that piece right there. Now on the geography toolbar, click the identify. That's the little blue circle with an eye. And then we want to click the feature indicated in the graphic to identify it. And I don't know what country that is we're pointing at. What is it? New Guinea? So we want to click this this one right here. If you zoomed in on a different area, don't worry about it. Just click on any country. Now what it'll bring up then is information, and they're asking a question, is Papua New Guinea a UN member state? It's got a UN short name, so I assume it is. But let's see. It says you may need to scroll down identity results to view the status attribute. Status. Oh, right in front of me. Status says UN member state. Says close the identify results window. So if I close that, and then it wants us to use the pan tool. That's the little hand to move around the map. Pan tool works here just as it does in Arcmap. So if I choose the hand, then you can see you can move it around different places. What does tab do?
You just tap on like a random spot, it takes you there right away.
Really? See, my tab doesn't do anything. You're just pressing the tab button.
Just press the tab button. It just takes me wherever I want to go.
How bizarre. Okay. Let's see. We move the pan. It says click the full extent button to zoom the full extent of the data. That's the one that looks like the world. So the world shows you everything again. Yeah. Isn't that strange about Antarctica? Look at the landmass of Antarctica. Doesn't that look like about the same size as all of North and South America? Maybe a little bit bigger. When I think of Antarctica, I think this little piece of land down there that's very small, state of Kansas or something. But, interesting. We're at page 90, number 20. It says at the bottom of the catalog display, click the preview menu and click table. So down here at the very bottom below your world map, you see preview. And it says geography, and you can change that to table. This shows you your raw data that's inside of it. It says scroll through the attribute columns. Sometimes attributes have cryptic names. Many organizations maintain a data dictionary, which decodes and describes attributes. Because when you see some of these, like ISO num, what does that mean exactly? Some kind of number. Here's a short name they use. They're talking about some of the countries having really long names. United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Interesting.
Yeah.
If I keep going over,
UN member state, self-governing territory, the Netherlands, non-self-governing territory, the UK. There's a lot of UN members.
a lot of UN members. Yeah.
No, the
Yeah, that's a
UN.
good thing.
Makes you wonder what would happen if, what does it mean if you're not a UN member? You just haven't been accepted officially, or
you just don't like the UN.
you just don't like the UN? You're such a terrorist state that nobody wants you in the UN.
You scroll down like 75% of the way, like all the rest of them are.
Yeah, provinces and
Yeah, like non-self-governing, UK.
non-self-governing. What does that mean? There's nobody in charge?
Yeah.
Self-governing means that they're like they're part of New Zealand, but they govern themselves, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like Hong Kong. It's not its own country, but it governs itself, doesn't it?
That's how Scotland is.
Is Scotland like that too? Okay.
The national.
Bless you.
No, I'm not.
Gives you population. The idea of working with a map is more than just nice clicking them, and look at zoom in, zoom out, but that you can actually get useful data out of it, and that's what this is referring to.
On the POP 2007, if that's population 2007, there's a lot of negative numbers. I don't know how that's possible. Negative 99999 people.
Pop.
Oh, you can have a negative amount of people.
I'm not sure if I see that.
See,
That just means that you kill them all. See, like, kill them all.
No, just got rid of 9 people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What's it say across the top?
Well, it says population 2007. It's like POP 2007.
This 2007?
No, it's to the right of status.
Oh, these negatives here?
It's farther to the left.
Oh. Well, what these negatives mean in some cases is this is like the change in percent or in percent. Like their population went down 1.72% or went up this many. And this is just your actual change in population, not the population itself.
Each of these people lost negative 99,999.
So if they lost negative 999, they gained.
Maybe they lost more than 100,000 people. They're just not bothering. But
So here's Trinidad and Tobago. It's went negative. I couldn't tell you what's going on there. Maybe no jobs. What would you expect to really have gone down? Syria?
probably.
So at least a bunch of African countries.
Maybe. What is this?
Let's see. Sort. Better not do that.
Oh, it's Antarctica. That's why it doesn't have any.
Antarctica has permanent residents?
It's not governed by anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because nobody officially kind of owns that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We keep fighting for land, but the land that no one owns is slowly shrinking.
Yeah.
So why don't we just try to do something with that,
Make it better.
so we stop fighting about other stuff?
That's true. Let's see. Scroll through the attributes. When you're finished looking, click the preview menu again and click geography. So we got our preview down at the bottom, and we go back to geography. It goes back there.
The Wake Island's like one of the coolest places, and I've always wanted to go there. The only way you can go there is by doing overseas contracting with the what department?
It says, notice the metadata shows a different name, world countries instead of countries. In geodatabases, any changes to feature class names are not automatically reflected in the metadata. One technique for documenting data sources is maintain the original name, world countries, and metadata, even if you rename the actual feature class. So you just have different names, what they're trying to indicate there. You can use your mouse wheel also to zoom in and out like this for the preview. Let's see. Click the edit button on the uppermost bar inside the description to access metadata. So the tabs across the top here above the world map, you click this description right up here. This is what we're talking about. Notice how it's referred to as world countries. They also got some tags down here. This helps if you're doing searches and so forth. Summary tells you world countries provide political boundaries for the world in 2008, include census, demographic attributes, and air pollution measurements, and so forth, and where you can use it at. You notice that there's an edit feature here. The edit feature allows you to go in and change this. So the title, you can change it to David's World, assuming it likes a single quote. Now click Save. So now it says World Countries, David's World. If you're creating one of these from scratch, of course you want the capability to add tags, summaries, and so forth. Okay. It tells you to click the edit button. We already did that. Did a change. Scroll down and see what kind of metadata can be entered. We looked at that. Many organizations require adherence to strict metadata standards. And so it says you can choose different styles of metadata to be in accordance with various national and international standards. For more information about metadata and styles supported by ArcGIS, consult the help. In the catalog display, click the Contents tab. Yeah, you're right there. And then it says the catalog tree, click world.gdb. On a standard toolbar, click the Details button. Details. So I click that. Takes us back here. This restores the display to its initial state. So this is what it looked like to begin with. Then we're continuing the next exercise, so leave it open. So we're adding data to a map now. So this is over on page 94. Step 1 is open ArcCatalog. We got that open. And the standard toolbar, this is step 2 on page 94. On the standard toolbar, click the Arcmap button to start Arcmap. We did. No, we're not in that. That's this right here. The world with a magnifying glass on it. It says if you're seeing a getting started dialog box under New Maps, which we are, let's see, click My Templates. Mine's already selected. In the My Templates, click the blank map symbol. Mine's already chose here. And then click OK. It says, or if Arcmap is already open, click the New button to open a blank map. New button would be this piece of paper with a folded corner. Kind of the same as everything else. The little icon here, or the diskette, is your save. Do you even know what a diskette is?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay. What?
Diskette.
Oh, you've seen one of those? Yeah, you can't find a computer now with a floppy in it, floppy drive. Well, I guess you can, but
will it work?
Will it work? Yeah. I didn't know how long those lasted. I have some at home that I just haven't got rid of. I don't know why. It's like there's nothing to plug it into. I don't have. There used to be you had 3.5. There's 5.25, and then there was even bigger ones you probably never heard of.
No, I've never heard of the big one.
I've never seen a drive for those, but they had them at IFR. And I'm going and cleaning up, organizing the software room where we store all the software and so forth. And I'm looking at these huge things, and I'm asking my boss, I said, "Can we get rid of these?" And because I googled it, looked what they were, and so forth. He said, "No, we might need those." It's like, I don't think you can find a drive anywhere, and this stuff doesn't last forever. And he agreed to get rid of it then. Okay, so we started the Arcmap. We did the blank one there. Position ArcCatalog and Arcmap up so you can see both the tree and the Arcmap display window. So I'm going to resize this after I just
I can tell which one of us you were looking at. Your Friday was looking at it, and your left eye was looking at Lane. I was like,
One on my left eye. That's
you just like, are you okay?
because my left eye would have to go this way. My right eye would go that way.
I was like, I'm like, you okay?
Okay, that's probably good as I'm gonna get it there. So we got both of them showing here. It says from the catalog tree, drag the latitude longitude feature class anywhere from the Arcmap window, and then release it. So if I come over here to latitude longitude, well, assuming my software hadn't. Oh, there. It doesn't show it actually dragging, but it is dragging. And then drop it.
Oh wait, okay. I was gonna say, do we drop it in the huge box?
From the catalog tree, drag the latitude longitude feature class file anywhere with the Arcmap display window and release the mouse button. Bring Arcmap forward by clicking this title bar. What did I do wrong? I click this, drag it, drop it.
Is it not showing for you? Is it showing?
Yeah, it's showing for me. Time to move back to Alaska.
Yeah, time to go to Alaska. This sounds like a small
cabin.
Small cabin with like
How interesting.
3 foot blocks.
Cabin.
Alaskan bunch
Cabin
of
in the woods. Hi, Kevin.
Kevin.
So you see just the grid there then, right?
Yeah.
The lines represent latitude, longitude. Okay, well, we'll go on. The layer is added to Arcmap. Maybe that's the problem. I need to add a layer. How do I add a
It
layer?
automatically should add one.
Try going on the catalog, ArcCatalog, and then I don't know, this worked for me. Like grab flat long and then go down to our GIS map app, and then bring it up and try. Darn. Okay.
How if I drop it on layers? Did you drop it over in a white space over here?
Yeah, I dropped it in the huge white space.
I just know.
Seems like someone has to update something.
List by source layers. How do you add layers?
Did you translate any of the stuff?
Well, I guess it worked on you guys's, so we'll continue. So it says to close the ArcCatalog. So you go ahead, probably minimize it just in case you might need it again. That's weird.
maximize. Is that it?
Let me go into the ArcCatalog. I'm just curious.
Oh, man, try again.
I'm gonna try it again
Oh, you have Oculus now?
because I minimized that. Yeah.
Did you get an Oculus Rift?
They were supposed to come in, but yeah, I have an Oculus Rift. I bought an Oculus. What's a small one? Go. Oculus Go.
You bought the Oculus Go?
Yeah, I bought that over the weekend.
We should.
Did you get the? Okay, so you got in the Rift, but you also had to Go, or did you get both?
I got both.
Okay. The Rift is what I have, and it's really good.
Yeah. Oculus Go is such that it's. I don't think quality is good.
No, it's not going to be.
The graphics and everything.
It's not really. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not like gaming oriented. It's more of like entertainment. Like you can watch YouTube videos and then there's like certain movies and apps that are in the Oculus Home.
Would it be a hassle if you brought yours over here?
Bring my Rift here? No, I wouldn't bring it. It would be a hassle.
It's minorly annoying.
No, I already have it all packed up. I just haven't set it up at my house since I was at Noah's house.
Did you get the Labor Day celebration this weekend?
The Labor Day celebration?
Yeah, Monday.
Monday?
Yeah, it's Monday.
It's next Monday.
Yes.
We probably still have class Monday.
No, we don't have class on Monday.
It's Labor Day.
Because of Labor Day.
Yeah.
What was that meme where it's just.
You nailed it with
Oh, it was the Mr. Krabs thing. It's like. Dude,
I've been playing. My laptop came with the Corel Paint Shop Pro and video editing software.
Yeah.
And I've been playing around with like the photo editing. And I was trying to get that one like weird picture.
Success.
Oh, I've been trying to get that one with like red eyes.
I had to exit out of both applications. Went back in. Now I'm in the same place as you.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Step 7 in Arcmap, look for a catalog tab on the right side of the display window. I don't got a catalog tab. It says if you do not see it, then click the button. Looks like a window with something on it. Filing cabinet. Click this one right here. Then dock the window to the right of the map display. You see this little pin right here at the top?
Yeah.
That's an auto hide. So when they say dock it, they mean click that pin and it now stays. Otherwise, when you clicked anywhere else, it would auto hide that.
you're right.
Let's see. Dock it. Okay. Most of the function of the ArcCatalog is available in the Arcmap catalog window. Window can be docked or undocked. If docked, you can use the auto hide function. That's what they're just talking about. In the catalog window, go to the ArcGIS folder. Folder connection. So I'll go to folder connection. And this one here. And wants us to go to this folder right here. Click the countries feature class. Oh, the chapter, and then expand chapter 4. Data. World. And then it says click the countries feature class.
Click it or.
Just says click it to highlight it.
Drag it.
Yeah. On the catalog Windows toolbar, click the toggle contents panel button.
Oh, see, it's the 3 yellow squares and 1 white square.
Yeah, it is 3 yellow squares.
Right next to the connect folder.
There it is.
I double clicked it now, like.
If you double click it, if you just click it again, it should appear then.
Okay.
So that's open now.
I'm just checking your door because the fire alarm is going off and he needs to shut off.
Now where's oh, is it?
Well, this is the only door that would set it off. Yes, well, the others aren't fire exits.
Now yesterday when the wind was blowing, the door was kind of
Yeah.
going in and out. I don't know if that caused any issues.
I don't know. I'm just trying to troubleshoot.
Is that fire alarm in that place where the water heater is? And
Yes.
okay, I went in there this morning and said, "What's beeping?" And I
Oh no, it's one over.
oh, it's one over.
It's
So
one over. It's one
my hearing's
over.
not that
I'm
good.
the only one that's got a key to that one.
Yeah.
So. Sorry to interrupt it.
Oh, no problem.
No interruptions made here.
What's the thing that's going on?
Okay. If you it looks like if you just keep clicking it over and over, you'll get back to the point where there's a map down here and you got your folders up here. Then it says, as you're correct, drag the country's feature class to the Arcmap display. So you click the countries, drag it over, and drop it. And it puts countries on there. You can also add data using the Add Data button. But you can drag and drop it. Now it says on the Arcmap standard toolbar, click the Add Data button. Looks like a little yellow piece of paper with a plus. And it says click just the button, not the arrow next to it. On the Add Data dialog box, browse to your Chapter 4 data. Chapter 4 data.
Do you click on world?
Double click world.gdb.
City.
And then click the background feature class. And then click add.
Okay.
Oh, there's layers. You have to
There's layers.
slide to drag.
Yeah. Now notice that the over on the left hand side you got your layers. And it says in the Arcmap table of contents, drag the background to the bottom of the list so it does not obscure the countries. So you click it and drag it, click and hold down the left mouse button and drag it down to the bottom. And you now see it's green in the background.
Oh yeah, we can.
Now you could equally have dragged and dropped the background there. They're just showing you a different way of doing it.
Well, I was like, I wonder if you could change it. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Change it purple.
Click add. Okay, so drag it so it's not obscured. Your map clearly needs work. The default symbols need to be modified so the map looks nice and shows the attributes you're interested in. In particular, you want the countries layer to show air pollution levels. However, you won't concern yourself creating symbology in this chapter. That's in chapter 7. On your own, open the attribute table of the countries layer and verify the data set includes the air population field called PM10. We won't do that because we're a little bit behind with software issues.
But you can change the color of the countries in the background.
And that one.
You can make it very janky.
I call this the Joker.
Yeah, I made it like regular Earth.
Is there a regular Earth color?
Yeah, I went with that, but then I made it really weird earlier.
Swamp.
Yeah, like 100
Glacier.
blood overlay. Biomass, chemical overlay. Glacier.
Now they give you that kind of functionality because if you're designing this and you definitely got somebody in your organization who's red-green colorblind and some colors they may not be able to see.
Right.
Let's see. This is on page 100. And number 14 says on the standard toolbar, click the search. That looks like a window with a globe.
Where?
What?
This right up here.
Control F.
And that brings up your search window on the right-hand side. It says this opens the search window. By default, it's placed to the right of the display. As a tab window, it can remain there fixed or with auto hide turned on. Notice the little pin in the upper right-hand corner. You can click that if you want it to stay there. or you can make it float in your own space. Arrange the search window as you prefer, so it's up to you. It says you will concentrate your search for pollution data using keywords or tags stored in the metadata. If any matches are found, data set and descriptions will be returned to the search results. Okay, so 16, we want to click the search options button. This is, hey, they shut it off, didn't they?
Yes.
It's not beeping anymore.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so we click this. This is the little paper-looking thing with 2 circles over in the search.
So there we go. I just didn't work the first time.
Let's see. Click the Add button, and then navigate to the Chapter 4 folder and click Select. So we'll go back up.
Oh, add.
Yeah,
Got it.
you did that? Okay.
Just
And then do that little yellow arrow thing to go back up. You want to choose chapter 4, and then select. Maybe I gotta go up one more. Select it here and select. There we go. Did we get chapter 4 selected?
Chapter 4. Select.
I already did, JC.
Okay.
Rude.
Let's see. Navigate to chapter 4, select, then click Index New Items at the bottom of the dialog box. So down here you see a button that says Index New Items. You click that, and it's going through and indexing.
Oh, it says it right there.
Yeah. Basically, it's searching through that folder for whatever files that's appropriate and choosing the tags out of it and doing all that. This index may take a few minutes to complete. So we'll wait. Now my idea is that like when I go to hold these, like when we have booths, if we could have like 3 of those Oculus Go's there and put it on people's heads and design a 3D game that's very basic, just like a avatar with like the Kali logo and just the outlining, and then go on to a game. Right. It's outlining what we offer here at Kali, and that's my idea.
Is there a way we could do that next year? I mean, that sounds amazing. That's what I want to kind of do.
Oh, we are in spring. We are going to be doing the virtual reality programming.
I got the. I've had the Rift for like a year. I've had it since it came out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really cool.
Yeah, we got 10 riffs coming in here, so I don't know how that work with the tables. May not be able to have 10 people because you got to have them certain distance apart.
Are you using the touch controllers with it too? Like, did you get the touch controllers or just the headset?
You got the yes.
Okay. Those are really cool too.
Okay, it looks like it stopped. It says when indexing is complete, click OK. So I click the OK down at the bottom. That's interesting. Do you got data on yours?
No.
No, that's why.
Okay, I'm gonna click that again. I got that.
I clicked apply. Maybe it's only since it's only search option. I call this the flag.
Maybe it doesn't return anything. Maybe you have to actually type it. Let's type pollution. Okay, you have to search for something before it appears. I figured it'd bring everything up to begin with. Okay, make sure the menu is set to local search. Ours is set to local search. Type in pollution, press enter. When the results are just returned, you can expand the window for easier viewing if you want. So these are all the places where it's referring to pollution, those tags. So that's how it does a search. It says in the search results listing, click the description of the U.S. cities PM shapefile. That would be the second option on mine, the one with the 3 dots in the yellow. This opens an item description window. Mine didn't.
Mine didn't either.
It showed me the location.
Yeah, now it's just.
Maybe I'm clicking the wrong thing. Maybe if I click the.
Oh, if you like highlight over it, it shows the.
Oh yeah.
That's what it's doing.
That's cool.
Oh, you have to. Okay.
Yeah, so if you highlight over whatever it is, it tells you what it is.
I mean, it's fine. It's not cruel.
Could be better, you know.
Mediocre at best.
There's my search. Okay. So if you click that.
Oh, maybe it's a dragon? Oh, yeah, you do. Wait, what are we supposed to?
I don't know. Let me do a Control Z.
Okay, well.
Ah! Undo! There. Okay. All it says is in the search results, click the navy blue text. Helps actually read. Okay, there it pops up. So you click the navy blue, and shows you that. Okay. This opens an item description window, which includes metadata. Read the summary and description. So blah 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 blah. Very interesting. Okay. An item description window. Click the preview tab. So if you click preview here, we see all of our major cities. Let's see. In the preview menu, click table. So you see it says geography. If I do the drop down here, we can choose table.
Wichita, there it is.
We see our different cities.
Wichita is 81.
It's 81 and what?
Yeah, so it says FID.
Oh.
Wichita is 51.
I wonder what that means. Probably nothing. I wouldn't think we're the 81st largest city. But maybe. Because there's, in the Wichita area, there's about 500,000 people, so more or less.
Right.
In the preview menu, click table, which we did. Scroll to the right to see the field PM10. What is PM10? Particulate matter measurements in urban areas.
Oh, there's a number of races. Like it shows you what races are in what place.
Really?
Oh snap!
Yeah. All right.
Modesto, where's that at?
Under 5. It shows ages too.
Man, I got distracted.
How many households?
Well, LA. Did you get back there?
No.
Okay, let me look. Okay, so you got that, and then you click preview. And then that just shows and then you drop down to the table. That's right.
All right, thank you.
Now this is interesting because some of these places like LA got a lot of pollution, got a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
But what is California big on?
Veganism.
Yeah, being healthy, right? So it's interesting that they have some of the most polluted areas out there. Phoenix, good lord. 47.63.
You're in the California did with their plastic straws.
Yeah, I heard they were doing that. See, that'd be upsetting to me to have to use a paper straw and have it like dissolve when I'm trying. So, okay, close the item description window. Then it says, from the search window, drag U.S. cities PM to the map display. So we're just ahead of when you told me to do that. So I click the U.S. cities here, drag it, and drop it in the little rectangle. I wonder if I dropped it somewhere else. It's still going a little red rectangle.
Just adds
So.
all of US cities like India.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if it would be smart enough. But when they're, I'm assuming they probably specify the actual location where it is in the world, so you can't drop it somewhere else. Notice that the points go automatically to the top of the layers list. So over here, you see that it's automatically at the top. Table of contents. Right-click U.S. cities PM. So right-click it, and then it says to click Zoom to layer. So I'll zoom in on that part right there. You get that to work? Over here on the left-hand side under the table of contents, you right-click on U.S. cities, and then it's a fifth one down.
Oh, I'm just, yeah, like if you have the zoom in tool, you can highlight and like you select the box, like make a box, it zooms into that.
Exactly.
That's kind of neat.
When was this made?
The software or the map?
The stats.
Probably about 10 years ago, more or less.
Okay.
They do a U.S. census every 10 years. Like we're gonna have a new one in 2020. Yeah. So that's what I say more or less. It's more like probably what, 8 years ago. Okay. So we dropped cities on there. We right click, zoomed it. If you want to save work, you can. Yeah, go ahead and do a file save as. And I'll actually have you turn this in. You guys can both turn yours in for the same file for a grade. And store it on your flash drive.
Okay.
Because you'll upload it to Blackboard later.
Can you get it out of my bag? On the very front.
What should we title?
August 29th, 2018, map 1. Something like that. Just say map 1.
Okay. I was like, yeah, I'll remember that. Yeah.
Just in case we have time to create another map here.
Yeah.
We only got about 21 more minutes left, so we might not get through parts C, but
So
we'll see.
map 1 dash Liam and JC.
That'd work. But again, upload it to both Dropboxes because I can't grade it if he doesn't have a submission. So. Now this is exercise 4C on page 106. And it says when you add data to a map document, you can examine it as a navigable map display, as you did in chapter 3. This is called data view of the map. You can also look at it as if you were on a page you sent to the printer. This is called layout view. When you are in layout view, you can still interact with the map layers, but this view is best used for creating static presentation maps. So in layout view, you see map layers organized in one or more rectangles. Map document can have one data frame or many. And they show you some pictures here on page 106, so you can see the difference between a data frame and so forth. Okay, so let's start in with it then. Now, does this make sense? What we've done here?
Yes.
We create a map, right?
Right.
That's just all we're doing. And you take an existing data and you're just dragging it and dropping it. We obviously didn't drop everything, did we? Remember the original data had like air pollution?
Yeah.
So those were the ones we looked at were already ones that were designed and created. So these we're going through and creating new ones here. Okay. 106 or page 108 says in Arcmap. We're still in Arcmap, so we're good. Open the map document. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. Maybe. Is there a close or just a new? I'll say open. And I'm going to go to this PC, C drive, Esri Press.
Open.
File open. And chapter 4. And it says open the EX04C. So we'll go open the EX04C. Just curious it doesn't reset your search. But,
That's fine.
yeah, I guess because we're still in the same folder. So.
Do we close ArcCatalog?
If you did, then that's fine. Because all we did there was drag and drop, basically. So. Several things to note about this map document. Most pressing importance are the red exclamation points in the table of contents. This is a sign of a broken data path. You see these red exclamation marks they're talking about? Over in the table of contents on the left-hand side.
Oh, yeah.
What they're indicating there is the broken data path. It often occurs if a map document was not saved with relative paths. If a user creates a map document from data stored on the computer's desktop location and saves the map with absolute paths, Arcmap will look for that user's desktop location and search for the source data, but to no avail. For example, if you have your map here and it's pointing to a folder here, and that's where it's getting its data. If you save this as a different location, then it'll look for that folder at this different location while it's still up here. Does that make sense?
More or less.
Yeah. So they'll get into that to fix the problem. Number 2, to fix the problem, in table of contents, right-click U.S. major cities. So we're going to right-click U.S. major cities. Point to data. So data right here, and then we want to click the repaired data source. Now, when it pops up here, it's wanting us to point to where it's located at. So it says on data source dialog box, browse to the chapter 4 data. Bless you.
US cities PM.
Click US cities. And then click add. That's bizarre. I didn't expect that. Because there was 2 of them broke, wasn't there? This Graticule was also broke?
Yeah, there's.
And it fixed it automatically. Yeah, I expected I'd have to right-click each one of them, and
It's not.
I guess it took what we did with that one and looked for it for the other ones. Oh, yeah. If I just read, Arcmap repaired the other broken links too by finding the correct source data sets in the folder you just specified. So I guess if you got other broken links, it looks and sees if those are correct also. So it does it automatically for us, basically. To avoid this problem in the future, you will save the map document with relative paths. On your menu bar, click File, Map Document Properties. So File, Map Document Properties. We're looking right at, oh, there it is. In the lower portion of the dialog box, it says select the Store Relative Path Names to Data Sources.
Where is it? I think.
Yeah. So we store relative path names to data sources. And then, do you find it?
No, I can't find that. I can't see.
Whoa. Click on that. Go to File. Map document. Bottom. Store. Don't even. He came over and I was like, what?
I have no idea what I just did. I thought it was following the rules.
Now, the difference here is, like if you got I got a location. If you got a file structure, let me show it. If you got your maps folder, so you got maps folder, and your maps folder is located under C:/data/GIS, let's say. And then you got a subfolder underneath here, like population or a subfile or whatever. And it's stored off in C C colon, data, GIS, population, that's your file. It's pointing absolutely to C colon data GIS population. So when you move this or save it as a different name, population is still looking in this location. Now, if I do a relative, maps is still in the same place, same place, it's hard-coded. It's stored there no matter what. Then underneath that, instead of storing the absolute name you see there, it'll store that it's in the population. Does that make sense? So it's not storing this first part. It's just saying relative to this location here, it should be in a population folder.
Okay.
So then when you save it as a different name, let's say you save it to C drive documents, GIS, population, instead of pointing with the absolute referencing, population would be pointing to this right here. This is absolute. And that's why you get those broken exclamations, because it's pointing in the wrong place. With relative, when you store it to that new location, population is still just pointing to population, like that. So that's the difference between relative and absolute. I'm not sure why they don't always set everything as relative, because absolute's kind of a. I know why, because let's say you're sharing the same files across the organization. You had everybody in your entire company pointing to population. Well, you wouldn't want to save it as a different name, and all of them are thinking it's in a different location, right? So population would always want to be stored in an absolute place, but it does create issues, which is why they give you a special tool for it. Okay, the map document properties. It says in the lower portion of the dialog box, select the store. Okay, we did that. Click OK. Now that you have fixed the data paths, you can take a look at the map display. Map is currently open layout view. It includes the same data you work with exercise 4B, but the layers now have meaningful symbols. You see we got legends there telling us everything. Over on page 112. It says step 5, in a table of contents, right-click U.S. major cities, and we'll zoom the layer. Again, that just brings up those right there. On the menu bar, we're going to click Insert Data Frame. See it's telling you the U.S. major city points cannot be discerned on a map. You will zoom in to fix this. However, you would like to show the world data. To do this, you need two data frames. So we're creating a data frame, basically. Data frame is added to the layer and its name. New data frame appears in the table of contents. So if you look over on the left-hand side, you see how it says new data frame. Not a very meaningful name, but we'll change it here shortly. Let's see. In the layout window, move the mouse pointer over the new data frame. The pointer changes to forehead arrow. Drag the new data frame below the first data frame. So they indicate in the picture here, drag it down to this white space down here. Move the mouse pointer over the lower right anchor, the blue square. Pointer changes double-headed arrow. Drag the anchor to the lower right-hand corner. Enlarge the data frame as shown in the graphic. We're resizing the window, basically. So resize it down to there. And then, this is step 9 on 114. Drag the upper left-hand corner so it's approximately the same size as the one above it. So I'm dragging this upper left. And that's probably as good as I'm going to get. Everybody resizing okay?
Sure. What do you mean sure, JT?
The name of a data frame is independent of any title you may choose to add layout. By default, the first data frame in a map document is called layers. Second is called new data frame. Third is called new data frame 2. We haven't created the next one. Oh, they're just saying. Okay. It's often helpful to rename a data frame. In table contents, right-click the first data frame, layers. So layers up here. And click properties. So I'm going to right-click layers up here, choose properties. On data frame properties dialog, click the general tab. General tab shows probably, yeah. And for the name, enter United States.
You needed.
That's literally how we just done it. We needed.
Then click OK. I'm not sure if I understand that, but that's okay. You'll probably get to it. Because what's under the United States now?
Air pollution by country.
Yeah, does that seem it should be under the United States? But maybe they're going to have us move it. I don't know. Okay. We're now on page 116. It says click the second data frame and table contents and click it again to make it editable. Rename the second data frame. So instead of right clicking on this and choosing properties, they're saying you can click it twice inside the name, and you can. You don't really double click. You click it once to select it, and click once again in the text. And this is world countries. It says click the data view button in the lower left corner of the layout window. That's this. I don't know what it looks like. Square, rectangle. But it's down here if you see where my mouse is circling. Display windows empty because active data frame world countries contains no layers. In the table of contents, right-click air pollution by country. This one I was concerned about. Click copy. Right-click the world countries and click paste. I think so. Yeah. Oh, click paste layers. Yeah. I have a problem not reading. And you see it drops our air pollution by country in the world country. So that makes sense that they wanted it down there. I'm not sure why they wanted it up above. It says now you have the same layer in two data frames. One layer is zoomed to the United States. The other is zoomed to the full extent. Okay. You also want copies of the ocean and the graticule layers in the second data frame. So we're going to right-click ocean and choose copy. And I'll come down to world countries, paste, and right-click graticule, copy that, come down here, right-click, paste. I'm going to put it in the same, it's already in the same order, isn't it? No, oceans is in the wrong place.
Yeah.
I'm going to there we go. Okay. It says switch again to layout view. So down here, these buttons down here at the bottom, real small. It's the second one from the left. That. Finally, click anywhere in the white area of the virtual page to clear the selection of the data frame. Notice how our data frame is still kind of selected. So it says click in the white area. It's curious. I wonder why we didn't resize that to match the world map there.
Yeah, mine's,
That bothers me.
mine's almost there, but it's not.
Yeah,
Really?
Mine's pretty close. It's like one grid square.
I'm sure they're probably gonna. That's be the next step, but that bothers me that
Look pretty nice.
Okay, that's probably close enough for what I'm doing there. Okay, now I'll click on the white space. Okay, now I'm happy with that. Okay, now you have the same layer in two data frames. One layer is zoomed to the United States, the other is zoomed to the full extent. Switch again to layout view. Or in layout view. Repeat. Table contents under the United States data frame, right-click Graticule and click Remove. So up here in the United States, I want to click Remove. I also want to remove the, let's see, to close. It says remove the Graticule layer under the world too. So remove that. Oh, interesting. Oh, wow.
Remove everything.
We're actually done with that chapter. Right on time. So go ahead and save this. Do a save as. And then go to wherever you saved your other one and call this map 2.
You can't save. I'm not saving this PC. I just want to open the MVC. Rhymes, that's true.